What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 12 of my HEXAGON challenge here in Football Manager 2016. And today I'm back with an international game. This is going to be the first ever international live com of this series. It's going to be our French under-21 side taking on England's under-21s in France. Should be quite a fun game, just a little bit of a change of pace. I am still at HEXAGON United, still looking for that kind of next move. I think I've resigned myself to the fact that this year I'm probably not going to be moving. Instead, I'm going to be trying to win the Oceanic Champions League again. You can see the group stage for that has been made. We've got a kind group, as you'd expect, the way the seedings work. And I think next episode will probably be the semi-final or final of that game and of that tournament, depending on who we get drawn against, of course. If you watched last season's kind of Oceanic Champions League campaign, you'll know it was a little bit of a walkover, really. So that's kind of the plan there. In terms of what we've been doing in the league at club level, well, you can see here, we're dominating the league, as you might expect. To be fair to Auckland City, they are only 4 points behind us with 5 games left, but we have got a little bit of a cushion there. Team Wellington, who for a while were right up there at the top of the table, have dropped way off the pace in recent kind of weeks and months. And it is kind of now a two-horse race at the top. In terms of our players, well, you can see here we are all over the stat charts. Chettelberg with 17 goals and 18 assists. The man has been an absolute monster for us. Elsewhere, Diego Rivera, who we brought in this year, has been doing great, obviously. 18 finishing. You know, you'd expect him to finish goals and get goals that come his way. 16 he's got in the league so far for us, and 9 assists. Not a bad return by him. And also worth giving a little nod to Paxton Gorski, who has 21 assists for the year, the 23-year-old American. And yeah, things are going pretty nicely at HEXAGON. I did actually have a job offer which I turned down. That was for a Qatari team. The reason I turned it down really was just the fact I wasn't really that into the club. It wasn't a job that kind of jumped out at me as this kind of fantastic opportunity. And so I decided to turn it down. There aren't any kind of jobs at the moment that are available that really jump out at me that I could realistically get. So instead, you know, we're going to keep on plodding, I guess, here in New Zealand for now until the end of the year. Then I'll probably resign, you know, try and get a job as soon as possible whilst kind of maintaining my position here in the international side. So anyway, this isn't really a club episode. Let's look at our French under-21 side. You can see that this is a friendly against England. If we just look at our fixtures here, there is a big gap until our next set of competitive under-21 games. I don't know if there's been a change to the way the system works, because as you can see, the Euro kind of under-21s games were played, well, back in 2017, which is only a year ago. This is, well, you can see here, Euro under-21s Group B, and then there was the semi-final against Italy, which the previous manager prior to me actually lost and then got sacked as a result of. We've come in for Euro qualifiers. I'm a little bit confused as to why the qualifiers seemingly, I say seemingly because I can't be certain, end in 2018, unless there's also a European Championship in 2019. But I didn't think they happened every 2 years. I thought there was a Under-21s World Cup. Maybe there isn't, maybe I'm completely misinformed. I really should work that out. I should go and check that after this episode. So anyway, this game is against England. Bit of a fun game, bit of a kind of a break, a change in pace, just to kind of give you an idea of the other kind of team in my life. I kind of feel like with these episodes, of late they've been a little bit kind of spaced out as a result of me not really having a job. I kind of feel like every time an episode comes back to me and I'm like, yeah, we're still at HEXAGON, people, you guys, the viewers, kind of see it. And this is an analogy I'm going to draw up here, which you'll either get or you won't. But it's a bit like when you guys are like my family. And you know when you go to like a family reunion, if you've ever been unemployed for a while or been a student and kind of your relatives all ask the same questions and it's like, yeah, nothing's really changed of late, I'm still studying. That's kind of how I feel here at HEXAGON. I feel like I should be telling you about exciting new stuff that's going on, but in reality, it's same old, and I'm still kind of waiting on the next kind of opportunity to come along. Either people got that analogy or it was absolutely terrible, or it was both. Anyway, let's move on from that. Let's have a look at our French under-21 side. In terms of the team for today's game, it's as strong as it can be, really. I'm still learning, you know, about the players, and I'm not someone who normally manages at international level. And so it's been a little bit of a different experience. I've not really known the best way to go about getting the players for my kind of team. I've really been looking at the player values as an indication of how good they potentially are. So I'll give you a little bit of a rundown of our starting 11 for today's game. We go with Kamara in goal. This guy is 21 years old, plays for Tours FC. And as you can see there, he plays in the second tier of France. Regular first team football though, pretty good player. We then have oh gosh, these names. We'll call him Musa, because I did GCSE French. That's how I landed this job. I told them, yeah, got GCSE in French. It was a B. And they were like, excellent, you're hired. And now I kind of feel like a bit of a fraud because, well, it's been a long time since I spoke any French. But we have Musa here, 22 years old, decent little left back. In the centre-back position, we go with Diallo. I can say that name. This guy, probably the best centre-back in this kind of entire of our under-21 setup. Plays for Monaco. Very good little player there. We then go alongside him with Ruben Joan Lee. We'll call you Ruben. You're Ruben now. Congrats. Another good centre-back. Not as good, but he's a decent little player. At right-back, we're going to go with Nordi. I'm going to start calling them by first names. That seems simpler. In the centre of midfield, we go with Sissoko and Samed, the two S's. I actually can say their names, which is nice. So they're two decent little players. This is the exact same system we are playing at Waitakere. And you can see those two players work fairly nicely. Then in the midfield, we go with Boga, Lissamba, and Saint-Maximin. So if we look at Boga here, that's definitely not how you say his name, but that's how I'm going to pronounce it. Boga. It sounds very British. Sounds like the name of a guy down your local pub. Anyway, he's quite good, this Jeremy fellow. Good little winger, good pace. Cuts in onto his right foot. Perhaps not the best natural winger, but he's a useful little player regardless. We then have Lissamba, who's a really, really nice kind of playmaking player. Good technique, good passing, good vision. Kind of really fills that role for us. Well, we then go with Saint-Maximin, who's been one of our big performers so far this year. There's actually a weird bug that I found just through playing this save, where for some reason face packs don't work on my players when I view them. I believe it's as the France manager, or it might be in general, but these players do actually have faces installed in my face pack. They just don't work on the squad screen and the tactics screen for some reason. So that's a little bit of an odd one. But anyway, we have him there. And then our striker for today's game is going to be Edouard, who you guys can see here, 20 years old. This is actually going to be his first under-21s appearance. He's 20 years old, plays for PSG, on loan at Anderlecht. He's got 9 goals in 22, pretty good little average rating. Caught my eye a little bit when I was looking through our potential players, and so we pulled him up for the first team. So anyway, let's get into today's game. As I said, it's a friendly. We haven't got any competitive games for a little while. We are taking on England's side. We'll have a quick look at their kind of starting 11 and see if there's any names that we kind of recognise. So let's have a look at this team here. They've got Harry Lewis in goal, who I've not actually heard of. They signed him from Shrewsbury. I don't know if that's a real life transfer or if that's one that happened in game. It may well have happened in game. But Harry Lewis there from Shrewsbury. They then go with Galloway, who I believe is an Everton player. He is indeed, Brendan Galloway. Centre backs, they go with Reece Oxford and Joe Gomez. At right back, they go with Ryan Nyambi, who looks like a pretty good player. This guy plays for Blackburn. That's weird, actually. I've noticed a few players in this save who I've never noticed before. Anyway, they go with Lewis Cook, who I do know, plays for Leeds, as he does at the start of the game. 21 years old, good centre mid there. They then go with Jordan Rossiter, again, familiar name, plays for Liverpool. They then go with Kulu, I believe, plays for Reading. He does indeed. £7 million he's valued at. A very good little player in FM. I've seen him really develop quite well. He has quite good determination, which really helps him develop. Love his hair too. Out on the left, they've got Damari Gray, who plays for Birmingham, but he's now been snapped up by Tottenham. I've seen this guy actually do really well in FM this year. So if you're looking for that kind of good little wide man, Damari Gray, definitely a man to keep an eye out for. Out on the right, they go with Denon Lewis, who again, another player who I've not heard much of. From Watford. And then their striker, they're going with Solanke. Of course they are. Playing for Chelsea in this. As he does in real life, of course. He's been on loan this season, I believe, at Vitesse. I've heard a little bit about this guy. But, you know, I've not actually seen him play. But he looks okay in FM. I wouldn't say they have too many standout players, England. Perhaps Damari Gray and Lewis Cook, the two players I'm scared of. Reece Oxford's developed quite nicely on this save too, to be fair. But yeah, I kind of fancy ourselves against this England side. They've not got any regens, which surprises me. I think we're just coming onto that cusp kind of in terms of period of time where you'll start to see, you know, regens, certainly in our French team, but also in the other under-21 sides kind of start to emerge. But anyway, we'll submit our team here. We're taking on England, you know, a little bit of a rivalry of sorts, I guess, a France v England affair. It's always, you know, one to get involved in. Can't say I recall an England v France football match where there's been an England manager in charge of France or an English manager in charge of the French team. A little bit of a bizarre scenario, but today we are going to want to beat England. They are ranked second, I believe, in the world. I'm not sure if that's at under 21s or at international level, but regardless, they are one of the big teams in terms of international football. So it's not going to be an easy game here, but it's a little bit of a test for us. In our group stage, the only game which we slipped up in, I believe, was a 3-3 draw against Ukraine. And actually, with the exception of that, the games have been pretty easy and there's not been any great teams in our group. So a game like this is a good one. And, well, there you go. Edouard, I don't know if he's going to be credited with the goal. He isn't, unfortunately. Joe Gomez given the own goal there. But we take a 1-0 lead there. And one of the new players to the French side, Edouard, with the goal, playing for Anderlecht, as I mentioned. And, well, some nice play here. Saint-Maximin with the ball whipped in. And then it's Edouard who kind of, I don't know how that's gone in. To be honest, I didn't even see the ball, but it's ended up in the back of the net. We do go 1-0 up here. We have, of course, got the home advantage, if you believe in that, in this kind of game. And we're on the attack, actually, again here. Samed out wide to Saint-Maximin. Been the big performer in the qualifiers for us. Samed out wide to Saint-Maximin in. Edouard, can he score? No, he can't. Nice little save, though, by the keeper there. But that was a chance. I do want to see Edouard get a goal for us. It's been interesting because I believe Morpai has been kind of our big performer. That's definitely not how you pronounce his name, but we'll go with it. But he's been one of our big performers, the striker. I think he's got 9 goals in 6 qualifying games. I've been instructed only to play him for 45 minutes, as I have a few other players for this friendly. But we are going to need kind of a replacement for him because he is 21. He is going to be getting too old for the team. And maybe Edouard can be the man. He scored there as well. Really nice goal. And yeah, I'll take that. Great goal. 2-0 up here. This is a great performance. Someone is doing star jumps by the sidelines. Definitely an England player. Wow. Those are some impressive star jumps. Oh, and look, we scored 2. Wasn't a bad finish, actually. Got kind of distracted by the guys continuing to star jump despite conceding. Anyway, let's give a team talk here. I'm going to tell the players to keep their performance level up. They've loved that. Excellent. I believe with this being a friendly, we can go ham on the subs too. In fact, I know that we can. So I'm going to make some changes here. I'm actually going to bring on Neil Morpai, who I mentioned being the big performer for us. I'm also going to bring on Olivier Nitcham. Definitely didn't bring this guy in for sentimental reasons. I promise. He is quite a good player though. You guys who were around last year for FM15 will remember this guy from the Lewis save, of course, where he helped us in League One and was kind of a class above everyone else. We're going to bring him in. And we're also going to bring in, I think, Maxwell Cornett. I can't remember what your stats are like. Again, kind of a standard winger, not an incredible player, but a good player for us. We'll bring him in, get some fresh legs on. This is just a friendly after all, so it's worth kind of giving, lots of different players run out, kind of getting a chance to see perhaps a few players in action, see how they perform. I'd love Olivier Nitcham to do great for us. That would be amazing because he is kind of a little hero in my heart. And speaking of the devil, there he is, involved in play. Samed, hits the crossbar with a crazy long shot, and England will probably luckily get that away. They're making a few changes. I feel like we should make some more. They've brought Patrick Roberts on. I'm scared now. Let's make some changes. I'm actually going to just quickly go to the tactics screen because I want to bring on some of the younger players. The players who aren't your kind of standard under 21s players. So we'll just insert general age right here. See, someone like Alan Remy, I probably wouldn't have thought to play him, but we probably should play him. We should give this guy a chance. So we're going to bring him into the side for Kamara. Go for a goalkeeper sub. Not every day you see that. I think we'll also bring on Bradley Danger. Right, that is definitely not a French name. I'm sorry, Bradley. You're not French. I bet he's English as well. I bet you he has... Okay, he's not. He's from Congo. Can we discuss the fact we have something called Bradley Danger? What a name. What an absolutely incredible name. Right. Let's bring on... Is there any of us we want to bring on? Let's bring on Fulgini. Fulgini, that sounds good, doesn't it? He was actually quite a good little player for us. I didn't start him because his manager instructed me only to play him for 45 minutes, but we'll bring him on now. We have now done 6 subs there, so I believe we can do 7 in international friendlies. I feel like that rule got changed. You used to be able to do unlimited. I feel like that might have been changed recently because some teams took the piss with it. Maybe to 7. I might be completely wrong there, but we'll go with 6 for now. But this is looking like quite a good little friendly performance. We're 2-0 up. 15 minutes left. We've kind of dominated this game. England, they've not had many chances. It's not been a game full of kind of excitement, but we've come here. We've done a job against one of the best English well done, Jack. They are the best English team, but one of the best youth teams in football. And Cornet there with the goal. Well played. Oh, Maxwell. I'm loving the hair. We didn't see that when we did the sub, but when he popped up with his face, he has like the craziest ginger-tinted mohawk ever. And look at it. He's used that. Oh, okay, he's volleyed it. Thought he'd used his hair. That would have been brave. But anyway, 3-0. 7 minutes left. We are having a giraffe. This is going to be easy. Well, it is easy, isn't it? Shea Ojo on the pitch. Patrick Roberts, as I mentioned. Have they changed their striker from Solanke? They have. They've brought on Hunter. And he scored. No, he hasn't. Okay, I thought he was just going to score. Right as I highlighted him, just comes on and scores for them. All right, 3 minutes left. Okay, Brown has now scored. Izzy Brown, great hair. Great hair. I feel like that's what this has turned into now, me evaluating the hair of future professional footballers. I think we'll make another change. We brought Morpay on. I'm going to take him off. I'm going to bring on Moussa Dembele of Fulham. Good little player, this guy, 21 years old. Kind of one of the older players, I guess, in the side. But he's yet, I believe, to play for France under 21s. Kind of surprised me a little bit, that. But I guess with the one-striker system, you're kind of not going to see a ton of a ton of players, I guess, playing at the international stage for us. If we can make another sub, which I'm not sure we can. Okay, we can. I'm going to bring on this guy, who we will call Nabil, because that's easier than saying his actual last name. But he's a good player, actually right-footed, so perhaps not the best suited wing in the world, so we'll change him to inside-forward attack. See if he can get a goal for the last 3 minutes. But all in all, pretty pleasing performance. There's quite a, as I said at the start, kind of a comfortable performance. I thought this was going to be a fiery kind of derby with explosions and excitement. Unfortunately for us, it's not been a particularly explosive game. It's been one of those games where, I don't know, not a lot has happened. I mean, we've won, but it's just a little bit underwhelming. I wanted red cards. I wanted a war of words between the two teams. But regardless, a good result. Our under-19s beat England too, so that's good. Both teams are winning. And that is the under-21s duty finish for now. Anyway, as I mentioned, we've got a wild card next under-21s game. In terms of when we'll be back, it'll probably be for the Oceanic Champions League. Probably whenever we play Auckland City, to be honest. I believe we can get drawn against our New Zealand friends. In the semi-final, if that happened, we'll come back for that game and the final. If we get an easy draw all the way to the final, then of course we'll just do that. I expect us to stomp the group. You guys saw that kind of last season anyway. But anyway, that's going to wrap up everything from me, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed this episode. If you have, please do smash the like button. Hopefully you enjoyed just a slightly different take on things, showing you guys what's going on with the international kind of career that we've got going on. In terms of our actual profile, you can see there's not been any major changes, really. Of course, we've now been we've now been France manager for 9 months, which is pretty pleasing. We've also been at Waitakere now for 2 years, which is pretty good going. But yeah, that's everything from me. If you've enjoyed this episode, smash the like button. If you've got any comments, if you've got any tips for international management, I would appreciate them. Something a little bit alien to me. But yeah, that is all. Thank you for watching. Other than that, guys, it is me, Jack. I'm done rambling, and hopefully I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.